The book, What Every Body Is Saying, shares a story. There's this guy, and he goes to this town in Florida. He's never been there before, but he has his address, right? And this is before Google Maps, where it just tells you where to go. So he has this address, and he's following street signs to get to this city. Well, when he gets to this town in Gables, Florida, he looks around, and he doesn't see any street signs. And he drives around for like an hour without any street signs. And he's like, how on earth am I supposed to find out where I'm going? Well, he pulls over and talks to a gas station clerk. He's like, hey, there aren't any street signs. I have this address. How can I find it? And he's like, oh, don't worry. We hear that all the time. There aren't street signs. They're actually down below where the gutters are. And they're about 6 inches off the ground. And it says it right there. And he gets back in the car, and sure enough, he sees the street signs, and in 5 minutes, he was able to get to his destination. Why? He was looking for signs, but in the wrong places. And that's what he shares, that we're looking for signs when we're talking with people, or maybe we aren't even looking for signs at all, and they're right in front of us. And if we just know what signs to look for, we'll be able to find out what people are trying to communicate to us. Now, there are 3 takeaways I'd like to share with you from this book, What Every Body Is Saying. Number 1 is just an overall increase of body awareness. That you are naturally looking at what's this person's feet doing? What direction is their body facing? Are they always like looking around? They seem kind of nervous and they're always touching their face, or they're kind of playing with something around their neck. That means that they're nervous about something. What is their body doing? And I find myself, like, I read this book because I want to increase my own body awareness of body language, right? They say 85% of communication is done non-verbally, meaning with your body and your voice intonation. And so it really helped me learn how to do that, and just have that overall sense of, okay, what was this person like? Was this person not? And the number 1 takeaway I got from this book, as far as at looking at people, is whether they're open or they're closed. Open would be, my arms are open, my stance is open, I'm facing you, right? Closed would be, I'm kind of shifted away. Maybe my feet are towards the door. Maybe I have my arms folded. Maybe I'm kind of going like this. I'm closed off, right? Anything that's going to be like this or looking away, that's closed. Anything open means that I'm open, right? Number 2 is trust your gut, but verify. He says this over and over, and it kind of makes you wonder, like, what the heck? Why would I even pay attention to body language anyways? He said, paying attention to body language is a little bit better than 50-50. And he said, my guess at body language is just a little bit better than a coin toss. And so I'm like, well, then why the heck would I pay attention to body language? And he says, because body language are the clues that kind of insinuate what this person might be thinking. And then you can ask different questions along that way to verify and see if that's actually the way that they're feeling, or what's actually going on with this situation. This guy was a former FBI agent, and he couldn't convict people and shouldn't be able to convict people based on their body language. And I think this person is lying because they have a closed off body. But he said that when they would have closed off bodies, or they'd be shifting their eyes or something like that, then he would know what questions to ask. And he gave the example of there was this lady that they were interviewing, and it was kind of just a casual interview. She was an eyewitness or she possibly could have been an eyewitness to the crime. And when he was talking to her, she's like, yeah, and started saying like and looking around and closed off. And he's like, something suspicious about this. Maybe I should continue probing further and find out. Ends up that she ends up admitting that she was one of the people who committed the crime. And he wouldn't have pushed that line of questioning to find out if he hadn't been looking at the body language. Now, he said, I very well could have been wrong, but in this case, the body language turned out to be right, but it allowed me to further question. So it's basically like body language is the clues, and then but it isn't the evidence. You have to go out and find the evidence, but it kind of puts you on that trail to find out, oh, does this person not like me? Why is that? Let me go and find out. And the last thing, number 3, is KISS. Have you heard of it? What does it stand for? Keep it simple, stupid, right? This book is a textbook for body language. And unless you have a 9th degree black belt in body language, I wouldn't recommend starting with this book. I would recommend starting with other body language books. I have a list down below, but this book was way too complicated. It was just a text. It was literally a textbook. It didn't have that many stories. It had a ton of information, right? But at the end, I asked my wife, because we were listening to it together, I was like, hey, what were your main takeaways from the book? She's like, honestly, it was kind of hard to remember what the takeaways were. I mean, what I shared with you: increase a body observation and trust your gut, but verify. But then other than that, like the specific strategies about the feet and the knees and the elbows and all that stuff, it was just way too complicated. So again, that's something that you got to keep in mind when you're looking at books, is maybe this book is meant, who is it meant for? Is it meant for somebody who's already been in the industry for a long time, or somebody who's just beginning, or somewhere in the middle? That happens with every book. So this book is definitely a higher level book. My challenge to you, like I said, unless you're a 9th degree black belt, I wouldn't read this book. But if you are already really good with body language and you're like, I want to take it to the next level, which a lot of salesmen are, a lot of different people are, then go ahead, read this book. I have the link below. Or 2, if you're not at that level, go ahead, check out my book list below on my website. I have a lot of book recommendations on there. So go ahead, check that out. My challenge, that standing challenge, is read one educational book every single week. And when you do, you're going to be able to take your business to the next level and take your life to the next level. Okay, we'll see you guys later.